Kam-sang. Today we are going to learn this short story called His First Flight. And this short story is written by William O'Flaherty. And this is in chapter number 3 of class 10's textbook, that is English textbook. In fact, there are 2 short stories there. We are going to take this first one today. Well, before we discuss this short story, let's understand what are the short stories in general. Well, in literature, we have 2 forms, right? One is poetry and the other is prose. And in prose also, we have 2 forms. One is fictional, the other is non-fictional. Now, non-fictional is about the facts, and you cannot invent new things there. You cannot invent new characters there. These are the facts that you have to write, you have to read. When you are reading it, you are reading something that is fact. And there are, biography, autobiography, diary, essay, speech, and travelogue. These all are non-fictional type of writing or reading. And now, fictional. Fictional, we have 2 types. One is novel. You know novel, right? A book, long story. It will take at least 1 week to finish one novel, right? And the other one is short story. That's what we are going to discuss today. Short story. In fact, short stories are very popular form of reading. It may be of 2,000 to 7,500 words, and it can be read in one sitting. And it has dialogues also, and then mostly it's read for recreation or entertainment, right? But as a student, you have to remember many things because you have to answer the questions in the examination, right? And you have to improve your English also. So in order to do that, you need to understand the elements of the story. And I have listed 5 of them here. First one is character. Now, characters. What are characters? Well, these are like, in any story, you may have heroes, heroines, villains, right? In short stories, you may have maximum like 3 to 4 characters. And characters also can be, it can be divided into 2, in fact. First one is primary characters. The primary characters are the ones who are like protagonists, heroes, antagonists, villains, and they may be heroines also, right? And they are called primary characters. And then we have secondary characters also, and they are, the ones who do not have much dialogues, or they are just the friends of the hero or the villains, right? You may have people around in the story. They are called secondary characters. Now, setting. Now, setting tells us when is this story happening, or you see, where is it happening, when and where. It tells us the place and the time. It is very important. And then third one is conflict. Here, though, any story, there may be conflict between hero or the villain, protagonist and antagonist, right? There may be conflict between them. And then if there are no antagonists, no villains, then there may be the conflict of, thoughts in the mind of the hero himself or the protagonist himself. Okay, conflicting thoughts may be there, or conflicting ideas may be there. Okay, that is what conflict is, and it is very important in the story. And next one is plot, of course. Plot is a series of events that happens in the story. Well, there may be exposition, and then conflict may be there, and then climax and resolution, right? It goes like a, pyramid. And of course, the theme. Theme is the central idea of the story. And we'll try to find this out in this story also. Okay? Let's come back to this topic. His first flight. Now, the topic is it's mentioning about something about flying. And his means whose now, right? Whose. Okay, we're trying to find out the characters there. And then, okay, I want to ask a question to you. Well, how did you feel when you were able to ride a bicycle for the first time in your life? You may have felt very happy, right? And supposing if you have a brother or a sister who who are or who is not able to ride a bicycle because of the lack of confidence and courage, what would you do? You will help him or her, right? To overcome the fear. Okay, this story is also something like that, where there's a young seagull. Seagull means a bird, flying bird, which preys on fish mostly, and then it stays near the seashore. And yeah, they are fish-eating birds. And that young seagull is unable to fly because of the fear, because of the lack of courage and self-confidence. When his brothers and sisters had already learned how to fly, and his mother, mothers are always caring, and his mother tries every trick, and every methods to make him fly. And to find out whether he's able to fly or not, let's read this story. Now, I'll read this story first, and then let's do the explanation better, okay? And, okay, his first flight, number one. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been able to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge, ledge means something protruding from the cliff, just like a shelf, All right, over there he was just sitting there, and his brothers had already learned, and he had a sister also, had learned how to fly, and he was trying to fly, but out of fear, You'll come to know about it when I read this here. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath. Beneath that ledge, there was sea. And then he was scared of that. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. And it shows the lack of confidence here, right? So he bent his head and ran away to the little hole under the ledge where he slept that night. At night, okay. And even when each of his brothers and sisters, his sister, he had a little sister also, whose wings were far shorter than his, were able to fly. They were able to fly because they had courage, and whereas he was not able to muster up his courage, and then he couldn't fly. And then his father and mother had come around, next page, calling to him shrilly, means high pitch, upbraiding him, scolding him, and threatening him. Anyway, they were threatening him that they would not bring any food to him if he does not muster up the courage to fly. All right. Now these are the things that the parents were doing to make him fly. And then the next paragraph is, that was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents fly about with his brothers and sisters. Now see, his brothers and sister had already learned how to fly, and then his father and mother, they were encouraging them, they were flying with them and enjoying the fish down there, and then they were teaching them to skim the waves and to dive to catch the fish also. And he had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means a kind of a bird which has soft fins. And devour it means eat hungrily. Okay, and then it goes on like this: standing on the rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle sound. They were making proud sound because most of their babies, young seagulls, they were able to fly. And then and all the morning, The whole family walked about on the big plateau. To the opposite of that cliff, there was a plateau. Plateau means something just like a ground, a little bit raised higher than the other areas. Okay, there he could see them. He means the young seagull who was not able to fly, right? And who couldn't fly. Okay, and then they were taunting him, means provoking him. They were just, provoking him and then looking down upon him, saying that you cannot fly because you don't have any guts. That is what they were saying. All right. And then the next paragraph, the sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since previous nightfall. Now see, it was hot. Sun ascending means it was in the morning time. Now sun is ascending means it's gonna be the midday. Quite hot. And then he was on that ledge. He's still on the ledge, not able to fly. And he stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing. He closed one eye, then the other. Now he is pretending to be sleeping and trying to attract the attention of his parents, right? This young seagull. And pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. No, they didn't take notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. Now, after eating the fish, they were sleeping, his brothers and sister, right? They were enjoying their sleep there on the plateau because they have already learned to fly. Then his father was preening, means making an effort to maintain the feather, tidying up the feather. His father was, all right, preening. Then mothers. I already mentioned that mothers are always mother, right? Only his mother was looking at him. Mothers are always caring, right? And she was standing on a little high hump of the plateau, and with her white breast thrust forward, now and again she tore at this fish, which lay at her leg, and she scraped each side of her beak to make them like little sharper. In fact, she was showing this fish to that young seagull so that she could attract him. This side of the food maddened the young seagull because he was very hungry. And he very much loved to eat food the way the mother was eating. And he made sound in the next paragraph, Gaga. He cried, begging her to bring some food, but mother didn't bring. Mother replied back by saying, Ga call derisively. Okay? She was, derisively means in a manner showing someone that he or she is stupid. Okay? Yeah. But he kept calling plaintively, means sadly. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. Why? Because his mother was coming towards him with the piece of the fish flying across to him with it. He leaned out, next page, eagerly tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. She was coming towards his direction with the fish, but when she was about to reach him, he was also ready to accept that fish, right? She halted, means she stopped there. Then he waited for a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer. Then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. He just, dived at the fish, and then he didn't know that he was diving down that ledge, in fact. With a loud scream, he fell outward and downward into the space. There was a vast expanse of this, sea, right? Space there. And then he fell. Okay, then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He was very much scared now. He could hear nothing. But it only lasted for a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outward and he was flying now. Now he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air, and that means he was flying now. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring means flying gradually and downwards, upwards, and that he was no longer afraid. And he just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy means you're having something like giddiness, reeling head, all right? And then he flapped his wings once and he soared up, ga, ga, ga. Now these are the sounds of, pleasure. In fact, he may have been very happy. Ga called Ash, his mother swooshed past him, and they both were flying together now. And then, he answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over to him screaming. Again, father joined in now. They were all flying. He saw his two brothers also, his sister flying around him, pivoting and banking and soaring and diving. Now whole family over here are flying, okay, together. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and call, shrieking shrilly. Now, he felt happy, of course. He was very happy when he was flying with his family. He was near the sea now when he was coming down, flying, okay, soaring down now, near the sea. Now, they were supposed to, skim the sea and find the fish and hunt the fish, right? That is how these seagulls hunt fish. And her parents, okay, and he was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. Beneath means below him, under him, below him, with little ridges markings there, moving over it. He turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. He was very happy. His parents and his brothers and sisters had already landed on this sea surface, okay, and they were floating there, but he didn't know how to land now. Then he came down, and then he put his legs down, and they sank below the water surface, okay. And then he was a little bit scared, and he tried to withdraw and fly, but he couldn't because he was very exhausted and hungry. So he had to land. Next page. Then his feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly means stomach, right? This touched the surface of the sea, and he sank no further. Now he was floating on it, right? Just like a ship. And around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. Now, these were the rewards for him, okay? He had brought the food, scrap of dogfish and other things there. He had made his first flight. That is how he could fly for the first time. He learned how to fly. Now, see, you may have come across characters, setting, conflict, plot, and theme while reading this story. And then after reading the story, you have to see and find out what are the characters there, what is the setting, conflicts, plot, theme. These all are the things that you have to find out. All right, now setting, we have this young seagull, right? Young seagull character, okay, main character, young seagull, and his mother also, and then father and brothers and sisters. There may have been other seagulls also as secondary characters there. And okay, setting is near the seashore, right, on the ledge, on the place, and the timing is in the morning time. And the sun was ascending, means like it was morning at about and was about to become midday also, right? Setting time and place. And conflict, of course, there were conflict between himself not being able to jump from the sledge and his mother, who was trying very hard to make him fly. And there was internal conflict also in his own mind also, because he was very much scared. He wanted to fly, but he could not muster up courage. That is also a conflict. And we have plot, of course. The whole story is the plot. And theme, the most important thing, theme. Now, theme can be expressed in one sentence, in fact. The theme of this story is every first step in life needs self-confidence and courage. You saw how this young seagull lacked courage and self-confidence, and that made him not able to fly. And the intelligent act of his mother helped him to fly at last, right? In conclusion, I would like to say that to cover the distance of 100 miles, we have to take a first step with courage and self-confidence. Okay? And ultimately, it is our own act that is going to lead us to the path of success. Thank you. Thank you very much.